How's it going, people? Welcome back to my channel. Apologies, I'm nearly 15 minutes late. I was just getting the set sorted. Obviously, got a nice Arsenal badge behind me. You know, the old one would have been better, but it is what it is, people. We're representing today, and it's a happy day. It's a happier day today than it was a couple of days ago. I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about. You know, I can see the chat flying off already. I'm going to make sure I get through as many questions as I can. I'm not here for too long today, half an hour, 45 minutes, but as you can see from the thumbnail, it's a necessity. Kroenke out, sell Arsenal. You know, Friday there's protests that I hope, you know, is the beginning of the end for Kroenke. We can only hope and pray for that. You know, nothing is done and dusted. It is just the beginning. Yes, we've won a battle, but the war still commences. And overall, the war is being won by Kroenke, regardless of this minor battle we have won and how happy it has made us. Let's not forget, as an Arsenal fan, we're just coming off the back of a 1-1 against Fulham that's put us in 10th or 9th or 11th. I haven't checked the league table all week. Because I'm not interested. We've got Everton around the corner too. I'm really not. We've got Everton around the corner too. And even in that game there's not much to really take from it, regardless of a win, lose or draw. The Europa League is the be-all and end-all for us this season. 2-3 wins away from potentially Champions League, you know, the good old Champions League. It feels like, you know, the Champions League is something now even more that we need to attain, something that we've lost that we need to get back naturally, not through an agreement that protects the club at all costs from relegation, protects the club from income. You know, we want to make it naturally. We want to make it and be ready for the tournament. We don't want to make it just because of the name we have or the history we've created prior to Stan Kroenke. Because let's be honest, how much of the history of Arsenal has been created under Stan Kroenke? What, 4 FA Cups? Miss me with that. That is not a big part of our history, and Kroenke is one of the worst, if not the worst part of Arsenal's history. If I look back and I go through decades, I don't think we've seen a bigger problem at Arsenal Football Club than Stan Kroenke. I don't think we've seen poison at Arsenal Football Club like Stan Kroenke. So I'm just glad. I'm glad that last night I'll open Twitter, and for once I'm actually pleased with the majority of opinions. For once, I wake up in the morning, I open Twitter, and again, I'm pleased with the majority of opinions. Yes, we got some, you know, Arsenal fans, the gatekeepers of the Arsenal kingdom and all that, thinking that they determine who is a real fan and who isn't. I'm not here for all of that. I don't care if you think I'm a real fan or if you don't think I'm a real fan. All I'm here for is Stan Kroenke to leave and let me get some of that passion, let me get some of that emotion back into Arsenal Football Club, because I've been disconnected for a long, long time. I did go up in the chat to say Turkish for new Arsenal CEO. The application's in the post, my guy. You know, the bid is there. We'll see what happens with that. I'll get back to you guys on how successful that is. But if he didn't sell to Usmanov, I'm not sure I've got much of a chance either. But we'll see how it goes, people. Come on. Let me just look through the chat, because I see a couple super chats flying in. We got RJ here. Hashtag Kroenke out, my guy. One of the big voices for fans Turkish. Much love to you, bro. Come on, my bro. Appreciate that. Friday, 6 p.m. Emirates. Let's make a racket and rumble North London with hashtag Kroenke out. And I've actually been someone that's tried to steer away from the Kroenke out hashtag because of the negative connotations around the whole out word in itself. Wenger out, Jose out, Ole out, Woodward out, Kroenke out. Like, that word out and the hashtag in general just seems to come with negative connotations. I tried and I wanted to move it to sell Arsenal. But at the stage we're at now, with the news we've just heard from Stan Kroenke, well, not from Stan Kroenke, but from the club about the plans for the European Super League, I believe whether it's Kroenke out or whether it's sell Arsenal, scream it at the top of your lungs this Friday and just keep on banging the drum for the weeks, months, and potentially years ahead. You know, RJ, obviously you've been a subscriber of my channel for a long time. You've watched me on AFTV for a long time. I've been talking about this for years. Chris Hudson, when he first came in on AFTV, before I was even part of AFTV, he said similar. That was about 7-8 years ago now. And this is before fan channels that even me, I saw what was happening at the club. There was just no platform, no voice to speak out about it. So although we've won a battle this week, although we've won a big battle to save the traditions of Arsenal Football Club, let's not be naive to think these plans are completely screwed and that they won't touch in on it again when they think that it's the right time. They thought it's the right time now. don't take the apology in any way, shape, or form as genuine from the club as you might do from others. Because at the end of the day, Arsenal Football Club, how genuine have they been to us fans over the last 10, 15 years? For them to think that they can get away with a statement like that, an apology like that, and think that we are just, turn our cheek and forgive and forget. Not me. But big up RJ and big up everyone in the chat. There's already 500 people here. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you haven't already. Yanis, come on, my bro. Hope you're good. Hope family's all well. He says, bro, I'll do my best to make it to the Emirates on Friday for the protest. No worries. Listen, no worries. Numbers wise, I think, it's going to be a good turnout. Let's just hope we don't embarrass ourselves with any selfish, arrogant, ignorant arguments between ourselves as fans. I just want to put it out there that I don't give a shit whether you like me or not. I'm not here for them and they're not here for me. We're all here for Kroenke. Let's just remember that. That is the key factor behind all of this anger, all of this emotion. We can touch in on you not liking me and me not liking you after Kroenke is gone. Yeah? Let's just focus on the true core of the problem at Arsenal Football Club right now. Because I'm tired of all of that nonsense about AFTV and all of that stuff. But it is what it is. It's part and parcel of fans nowadays. Gareth says, big up Turkish. Which of the clubs do you think is most likely to force out the owners? That's a good question. I'd say Chelsea and City are safe. I think the way they handle themselves, being the first two to drop out of it, and not really having their name in and around the planning of this European Super League, I think they're safe. I think their fans are happy with the owners regardless. They've probably made their first mistake as owners in terms of fans' opinion. It's very different for us. Kroenke's made a lot of mistakes. It's the first apology we've got from the board, but they've made a lot of mistakes. So for me, I'm not taking that apology and making anything else of it but a PR move. Joe Lewis, Tottenham. The thing with Tottenham right now, obviously, considering these plans were happening, behind our backs and behind the scenes, look at Tottenham's moves in the last 5 years. They've moved into a brand new stadium, no fans at a game. COVID has impacted that. This European Super League was probably their saving grace in terms of financially. If it doesn't happen and it doesn't look like it's happening, then Tottenham, in my opinion, are in a dark place. A dark place, not only that, they've got a squad that was capable of winning a trophy, but didn't, and now it's going to be dismantled with Kane potentially going, Jose's just been sacked, and the fact that the Super League doesn't bring the income that they thought they'd get off the back of that new stadium. I think Lewis might potentially be the one that might face the wrath sooner rather than later. But it should be Kroenke. No owner has treated the club as bad as Kroenke has Arsenal. Well, Ashley and Newcastle, but we're talking about the big six clubs here, and no owner in the big six has treated the club and damaged the club's reputation, quality, ambition as much as Kroenke has Arsenal. So if I'm going to assume, I think Joe Lewis at Tottenham is in for it. But in all honesty, as an Arsenal fan, and I think as a football fan, we've all seen what Kroenke has done to this side. Whether you laugh at us from an opposition club or whether you're part of this fan base and embarrassed by it, Kroenke is the devil at this club. We will be there on Friday from Norwich. Love for the support, all the way from Norwich. Hashtag Kroenke out. That's what it's got to be at the end of the day. Yeah, we need to just get together. We need to make our voices heard. Like I said, let's hope it goes well, this protest. We've seen the Chelsea one go well, do good things. Let's hope we as Arsenal fans can hold our own, Let's not make a mockery of ourselves, or more of a mockery than we have done already. Let's actually go there and have one voice, one message, and a unified front for once. That's what it's all about. Put all the little petty arguments, petty opinions to the side for a day, or for this subject, to be honest, because it's not only a day that it's going to take. This subject, we have to prioritize as the biggest problem at Arsenal Football Club. If we don't do that as fans, then no one will. If us Arsenal fans don't identify Kroenke as the biggest issue, not AFTV, not fan channels, not mainstream media, not negativity, Kroenke. He is the key to this. And people will ask, how can you trust Dangote? People will ask, oh, someone at the door there. People will ask, how can you trust Dangote? People will ask, how can you trust a new owner comes in and has the best intentions? I can't tell you that. No one can tell you who our next owner will be. Dangote is the one on everyone's, on everyone's mind because of quotes in the past. But in all honesty, Dangote might not be the one. I don't know all the billionaires in this world. I don't know their true intentions. All I know is this one we have right now, tried, tested, failed, tried, tested, failed, all the way to the point where we can see why everything that we thought he was trying failed, because in essence, there wasn't much care behind it. There wasn't much care in leaving Wenger in his position. There wasn't much care in bringing Emery in, Arteta in. There wasn't much care in overhauling the squad. Why? Because the Super League has always been round the corner. With the Super League round the corner, the money was bound to come in. And with the money coming in, Kroenke smiles. And with Kroenke smiling, he doesn't give a shit. Heard various stories about Kroenke not even knowing what color we play in. That recent report that come out that one of the big six owners, turned around to someone and said, which color are we playing in? If that doesn't sound like Stan Kroenke to you, then I don't know what to say. Because listen, Joe Lewis knows Tottenham. He's been there a long time. Glazers have been at United a long time. Henry, Liverpool, they've won things in that red shirt. It's Arsenal that have been messing around with the traditional colors. It's Arsenal that have been messing about in the past however many years. We've got a blue and pink kit now. Since when is blue and pink a part of Arsenal's heritage? Let's be honest here. And now we've got a new pastel pack. We've got a tie-dye Pharrell Williams pack in December. So many colors are associated to Arsenal Football Club right now. Do I blame Kroenke not knowing what colors we're in anymore? Listen, he's only interested in the commercial side of it. And when he's seeing products come out left, right, and center, red, yellow, black, gray, turquoise, pink, and all that, he probably doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know what's going on. I am King here with a super chat saying, big up, bro. I think the fan separation thing is done and gone. You'd be surprised, my guy. Open up Twitter, go onto my profile and just see some of the tweets I've been getting since this morning. And you'll see it's not done and gone. Now is the time for unity. One of the best chances we have to get this leech out of the club. I would hope so. And like I said, generally last night and this morning, Twitter was a better place than I'm accustomed to. But don't ever get it twisted. The people that don't like certain movements, certain channels, certain people are still there and thereabouts. Let's just hope they can keep their mouth shut for a few weeks just to get the priority out. Let's just hope for that, because that's the best I can hope for. Like I said, you don't have to like me, but just keep your mouth shut. Colin says, Turkish, your FA Cup final interview stuck with me and rings true now more than ever. Fair play for being relentless in both success and failure. Colin, because the FA Cup, of course, is tradition. Of course, it means so much, especially to us Arsenal fans. We've won the competition more than any other. I was gutted when we went out to Southampton this year. I was gutted when I saw the lineup for it, because there's still that competition is still very much a big part of football for me, regardless of what's happened to it over the years and the way it's been tarnished and dealt with. And to the point where in reality, it doesn't really mean much to these owners, because financially, if you look at the winnings from an FA Cup, you're probably going to get 5 mil, 10 mil max. That's a drop in the ocean for what commercial deals bring in, for what sponsorship deals bring in, for what TV rights bring in. A drop in the ocean. 5 to 10 mil probably won't even cover the agent fees of a big signing. So you can see the importance of the FA Cup for us fans is still there, because we don't care about the money you win. We care about the trophy, the legacy, the history. But owners don't care about that. Owners care about the bottom line. And if the bottom line of one tournament is 5 mil and the bottom line of another tournament is 100 mil, no doubt about it, they're going to go for the one that, has the 3 digits in front, because that's just the way of the world right now. So I've just had to remain on their necks, because regardless of that FA Cup, the best thing that could have happened is I did that FA Cup final interview in the summer. They proved me wrong. They bought who they needed to buy. They sold who they needed to sell. And this season, we actually competed for top 4. And coming up to the last few games of the season, we're in and around that battle. We'd all be looking back at my FA Cup final interview and saying, Turkish, you was wrong. And I would have preferred that, because I prefer to be wrong. I prefer to be wrong about all these years of Kroenke and direction and lack of ambition and winning mentality. I'd love to be wrong, because then Arsenal are on the way up. But I haven't been. We haven't been. A lot of the subscribers here, you have agreed with me for a long time. So as much as the initial reaction from the FA Cup final interview was a bit of abuse aimed at me, understandably, you know, people think negativity or the reality is damaging to the club. I think we've just seen who is and what is the most damaging to our football club and our football clubs as football fans of, you know, the big six and other teams outside of that big six. You know, it's had an effect on everyone. It's embarrassing, but it is what it is. Appreciate everyone in now. Nearly 1,000 people already. 15 minutes in. Love for the love, people. Football is for the fans, says Manny. Football was, you know, football started with the fans. Football's about love. Love built these clubs. I said it the other day, I think on Robbie's stream. Love built these clubs, and people laughed about that. But how do you think fans become accustomed to their club? It's through love. Love of the sport, love of the local club, and love built Arsenal, love built United, Liverpool, and so on. And they just tried to take it all away, you know, sell it down the river. It is what it is, people. Football was a working class. Yeah, was is a key word there, because I agree with you. Was. SP said, I'd never diss my man. Yeah, listen, you know, people got morals and others don't at the end of the day. What can you do? What can you do? St. Colombo says, you was wrong about Wenger. Them times there Arsenal was finishing top 4. Man forgets looking for praise now because of Kroenke. It's embarrassing, but it is what it is. Was we finishing top 4 under Wenger in his last 2 years? It's amazing how people try and, you know, pull a narrative out their arse during times like this. Wenger finished out of the top 6 2 years in a row. We finished second under Wenger, and he went and bought Xhaka and Mustafi, and we haven't finished top 4 since. Wenger knew about these plans. Don't be naive to think Wenger didn't know. I have people showing me an interview from Wenger from 2009, hinting at a European Super League. Hinting? He knew because the owner was on it. He knew it was coming. So we can act like a philosopher or whatever, you know, Nostradamus and all of that. People can act like Wenger, you know, was opening our eyes a lot sooner. But this is the same man that knew it was happening and took pay rises as we slowly but surely went from top 4 to top 6. Yeah. So don't bring Wenger's name here. Yeah. We've moved on from Wenger. And in all reality, this has just opened up a can of worms that make me look at Wenger in an even more negative light than I did towards the end of his Arsenal career. I know a lot of people might not agree with me with that. But at the end of the day, I do not believe Wenger did not know about these plans. I refuse to believe it. Yeah. So St. Colombo, you know, I don't know what to say about this chat. Just keep your eyes on the ball, mate. Keep your eyes on the ball. We need to get "we care, you don't" trending and block the coach on Friday like Chelsea fans did. We have to be smart with our protests, push government to enforce legislation over ownership and force them out. That's literally what I was just discussing with Robbie now. I'm not too sure who is the instigator behind this Friday protest. I'm not too sure who started it, but I do hope there's some direction to it. I do hope it's not just a turn up and everyone's in their own groups and there ain't really a direction to it. And when the coaches come, a bit of noise is made, everyone runs over to, like, there needs to be some correlation. There needs to be some unity. There needs to be some direction throughout that protest. It can't just be, you know, nonsense and people shouting left, right, and center without a clear objective. Like I keep saying, one voice, one message. Regardless if there's 600, 700 or 2,000, 3,000 people protesting, I'm sure we're all there for the same message. So, you know, chanting and all of that, it's all good, but it has to be done together. So I'll be interested to see how it does go. I'm fully for it. I'll be there, but I just hope that the organizers are organized. I Am King says, I think it's time they start directing some of this disapproval towards the sponsors as well, so they can apply pressure on Kroenke to sell. Well, I said this yesterday on AFTV. Me and Robbie discussed the impact of potentially not investing into merchandise. Robbie's opinion is that it won't have much effect. And as much as I agree with him, when a deal is signed, for example, Adidas 60 million a year, Arsenal get 60 million a year guaranteed. Then they get 5-10% of shirt sales over and beyond that. So at the end of the day, we have a chance to impact that 5-10%, but overall it's a drop in the ocean, like how I mentioned the FA Cup is. But what it can do is, if you have an impact on sales, Adidas will then turn to Arsenal when it's time to tender that contract and say to them, well, the sales didn't go as well as we would have hoped. We gave you 60 million for 4 or 5 years and we expected this, we got this. So if you want to continue with us, we'll give you 50 million. And then it goes down. Yes, it affects Arsenal Football Club because we get less money, but it also affects Stan Kroenke. That's all he cares about. Similar to Sky Sports, BT Sport, Amazon. If there's matches on, as a collective, not just Arsenal fans, if we can all, every single one of us on the last day of the season, watch matches either through streams or through any other means or ways, do it. Because I feel like if the numbers of viewers get affected, then Sky and BT start looking at their own contracts and they start looking at their own. We need to attack the hands that feed Kroenke too. We are a part of those hands, but so are Sky, so are BT, so are Adidas. I'm not even sure if that whole, what's that Rwanda Airlines thing is part of the sponsorship now. Whoever sponsors Arsenal, if there's a way we can affect the streamline of money and the streamline of numbers, then we do it. And like I said yesterday, we might not be able to do everything as one, but we can do something. The worst thing to do is not doing nothing. Me personally, I've failed to give in my season ticket and stop going games. That's something I should and could have done, but it's very difficult to do. Have I stopped buying merchandise? Yes. So I'm trying to do something. And the next step was to hand over the season ticket. I was pretty much thinking that before this European Super League come out anyway, let alone the news following that. But if there's a light at the end of this tunnel, and if that light is not a train coming towards us, then let's hope that light is Kroenke leaving. That's massive for us. And then I'll keep hold of my season ticket because there'll be a bit more hope there. But until then, I can't really tell you which way it's going to go. Did I miss something here? Big up I Am King. Big up everyone. Saba, Omar, Jamie, I see you. Brett, Mo, Big Gunner D, I see you all. Come on, man. RJ again says, Turkish, I find it hilarious that certain people speak on our club like we ain't the third biggest team in English football. 14 FA Cups isn't 100%. Listen, and that again falls on Kroenke. Domestically, we are the third biggest team in this country. Easily. Our history is massive compared to some of the others. But what Kroenke has done to Arsenal and done to this club, you can never erase history. But he's pushed the banter that we've become to the forefront through a lack of care. Hence why you have fans a bit misguided now in terms of, if I look at 2020, we was one of 3 English teams to win a trophy. But at the same time, I won't bang on that drum because, that hides the core issue, which is Kroenke. Winning the trophy is great. Winning the trophy adds to your history. But when you know your owner and you know that winning that trophy might paint a different picture to him and might tighten the stranglehold he has on the club, then it's not so great after all. Sometimes 2 steps back to take 10 steps forward is better than taking 1 step forward every year. Well, it's 1 step forward, 1 step back, essentially, under Kroenke. Wilshire's coming. I've heard that report. We'll see if that happens. I don't know how true that is. Dave's in the building. Big up, Dave. A lot of people are making it like Wenger was innocent. He's one of the reasons why we're in this predicament. And that's how I see it. I fail to believe that Wenger wasn't in the know about this. I'm not saying he would have agreed with it, but I fail to believe he didn't know about it. And having known about it, in my opinion, and signing new contracts and, not being real with the same fans that he apparently loved and the same fans that made him and made, that time what it was, it's a shame. It's a shame. If we can't trust Arsene, then who can we trust? Who can we trust? And that's a serious question, Arsene gained our trust. He ruined it, but he gained it. Who else at this club can gain our trust, from players to boardroom to ownership? None of them. None of them. Sorry, people, as well. I see a lot of comments coming, a lot of good comments at that. But I've kind of just been going off on one. And I see a lot of people just like me talking anyway. So apologies for that. But I'm trying to get in as many comments as I can. I did see one here that was interesting, but I think it's gone. Apologies. There was a super chat here that I wanted to touch on, but I think it's gone now. The chat's just flying up. So I can't keep up with it all. Major says Vinay must be sacked. David says our reputation is at an all-time low. You know, when you just think it couldn't get any lower, you know, we're in and around 10th all season. We're struggling in the Europa League against Slavia Prague. You'd think that it can't really get much lower than this. You know, people will laugh and joke about relegation, but it's not going to happen. Kroenke said, here, hold my cup. Let me have a look at this. And he came in with a European Super League and just damaged it even more. Embarrassed us. Literally, I'm embarrassed about all of that. And I still am. Because Arsenal, Tottenham, let's be honest, we shouldn't be anywhere near that European Super League. But Anne says, it looks like you're in the Arsenal boardroom addressing the fan base about his crooked employee, Stan Kroenke. #Kroenke out. Shout out Brennan for the set. Man said, I look like I'm in the boardroom discussing the problems at Arsenal. So yeah, you know, that's why I was late. The boardroom was the press conference was getting set up, people. The press conference was getting set up. Big up Stephen, S50 TV. If you haven't already, make sure you guys go and support him because he does a lot of good work for charity too. I have been on the channel once and I'm sure I'll be on it again soon enough, but go and support him because he does some good stuff. Hi, I fell out of love with Arsenal now as it's not the club I love anymore. I'll follow them, but I won't support the way I used to, not after all this. I'm now only 106 away from monetizations and donations to, I assume, the charity of your choice. Look, people, there's 1,200 people here. Stephen does a lot of work for charities, you know, on his YouTube channel. He's 100 away from potentially monetizing that YouTube channel and giving a lot more support to the charities and foundations he does. I'm sure we can get him 100 subscribers now. You know, I'm sure. Just type in S50 TV and go over and help him subscribe and get him up there. Because like I said, he does some good work for good charities. And how many people on YouTube do that? How many people in the public eye do that? Go and support. Go and support. Stephen, love for that though. Yeah, hope you're good. Hope you're good and feeling well. I know you was under the weather a few weeks ago, but I hope you're out the other end. Brian says, Turkish, do you think it's better to do a 50+1 or have a new billionaire owner? Because as much as we wanted Dangote, in all honesty, a 50... James, what do you think? That's a good question. 50+1 or a new owner? Ideally, I'm going to say a 50+1 would be ideal with a new owner. But if you had me to pick one of those, I think 51, because we can then have an impact to get him out.
The 50+1 is great when something massive like this happens, but how often does something massive like this happen? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at the same time, if an owner with the right intentions was at the club, I wouldn't want there to be some system that restricts him from doing things that he feels his ambitions can achieve.
Fair enough.
It's a difficult one. It's a great question.
Yeah, it is. That's a good question, Brian. In all honesty, judging off what we know right now and what's been happening, then like James said, the 50+1, you know, it becomes integral in a situation like this. But how often is it integral? Especially if we get an owner like a Roman or a Mansour who, okay, they signed up to it, but you know they're a bit different to the FSGs, the Kroenkes and the Glazers. You'd want them to be able to flex their financial muscle or be able to make the choices they want to make. So it's a difficult one, but if you're asking me right now, I'll take the 50+1. That can change. I'm surprised Arsenal pulled out. It would have made you relevant again. Oh, so we got an opposition fan in the building as well. Made us relevant. I wonder. You can't be supporting Tottenham with a super chat like that, because if we're talking about relevance, then yeah, I don't even know if that would have made you relevant. But yeah, Turkish, would you be happy with Dangote or a Sheikh Mansour? Look, people are going to disagree with me. Yeah, when it was Usmanov and Kroenke, I wanted Usmanov. Yeah, and people would then say, oh, why do you want that money? You know, that's not what football's about and this and that. But at the end of the day, they're also winners. And football was going down the money route. And not enough fans were speaking up about it. So it was a case of get down or lay down. And if you give me a choice of Kroenke or Usmanov, I'm going to the one that seems to have more ambition. More of a winner's mentality. Now, Sheikh Mansour, for me, he's a winner. You know, he might not know the most about football, but he's a winner. If his club's not doing well, if his club needs something, he'll get it done. Similar to Roman, winner. So would I be happy with a Dangote or a winner type owner? Winner type owner is what I'd go for, whether that's Mansour or Roman. At this moment in time, regardless of the uproar amongst fans, money is in football. Football is money. We're not going to reverse that off the back of this. Yes, we can stop the Super League, but, you know, the money's only going to get greater in football. So Arsenal need to kind of get with the times, you know. And Dangote is rich enough to be a Mansour type, Usmanov, Roman type. So let's just hope for the best. Big up James, says somebody in the chat.
Thank you.
Why does that James guy talk rubbish, says someone else? Now, I'm joking. Let's see, I just missed something here. Let me just scroll up.
I prefer that to who's James?
Stephen again said, I stayed in hospital after losing a lot of blood, but now back to my best. I can be thankful for all your support, like Arsenal is draining my blood away. Stephen, I'm sorry to hear that, my guy. Listen, you just got to take care of yourself as much as you can. You know, try not to link any emotion to Arsenal, because if you do, that's when they will drag you down. You know, I can't really offer any more advice than that. Just look after yourself, mate. And like I said, people, go over and subscribe to S Feetly TV. 100 subscribers away from a target that he has, and a target that helps him get more money for charities and causes that, you know, he's interested in and he has an allegiance with. We got man like Ollie. Big up Turkish. I can't come to the protest. I live in Portugal. What do you mean you can't come? EasyJet's running, my guy. Portugal, £20, 20. No, I'm joking. If you see how teams like Porto are run compared to us, it's heartbreaking. Listen, no, there's going to be many battles to come. Friday is just one of many. So regardless if you can't make this one or if you can't make the ones to come, this has affected football fans worldwide. And I'm sure, slowly but surely, there'll be more protests, there'll be more battles that people from other countries and other continents can get involved in. The Arsenal fans don't just exist in North London and London. There's Arsenal fans across the world. And as much as Friday's about us, the ones in and around the stadium, the battle, the war is about us all. We can all play a part. Stop buying merchandise and stop watching the games on Sky and BT and all of that. Obviously, if you're in Europe, if you're in another continent, be in sport, I don't know how that all affects it, but I know with Sky and BT, they've taken the piss so much that it's led us down this dark street that we've been on. Well, it was a dark street from Sunday till Tuesday, and all of a sudden there was a light that popped up and it seems to be a bit brighter down this alleyway, but it is what it is, people. Let me see. I'm sure I missed something here. Apologies again if I miss things. Man like James.
Oh, me? Oh, thank you.
James. Mighty Red said James was angry yesterday. You don't want to get, I'm telling you, I've seen James angry. I'm not on it. I'm actually not on it. A chair will just come flying into the screen in a minute.
Yeah.
Big up James, man. Yeah, I can't even do this name justice. I'm just gonna say Aya. So Aya says, if Arsenal got a winner as an English owner, which manager do you get? If Arsenal get a winner as an owner, I trust him to get a manager. And that's what we have to do as Arsenal fans. We can't be telling our owner what manager, what technical director, what head of football and what players we want or need. They need to be highlighting it to us, and they need to do it in a way where the risks they take are more successful than not. And that way you build trust. And when you trust someone, let's look at Chelsea, for example. Chelsea fans trust Roman. Lampard is a legend. In an ideal world, would he have been sacked in that manner? No. But do the Chelsea fans trust Roman to have their best interests at heart, the club's best interests at heart? Yes. So they rode the wave, turned the corner. Tuchel comes in, nearly in top four, Champions League semi. You know, I'm not saying they've had a complete turnaround there, but what I am saying is when you have an owner you can trust, the rest becomes their business. And when it's their business, we can just focus on the waves of joy, the waves of depression that Arsenal can bring. But that's what I want to get back to. I want to get back to worrying about the game this weekend and the game next week, and not worrying about what's happening behind the scenes, because for far too long, my eye has been off the ball in that sense. I'd love to have my emotion back, and it comes with, you know, watching the club perform on the pitch. And that won't happen until we see the club perform off the pitch. Amadou says, I said in the AFTV stream yesterday, when James asked what kind of owner we need, We need an owner who is invested enough to hold employees accountable. Yes, that's about caring. That's about caring.
That's a great point.
Yeah, when you've got, James just said it's a great point, mate. When you've got a winner as an owner, then he will be holding his people to account, you know? But when you got someone who doesn't care, who barely knows what color you play in, who barely knows the scoreline from a couple of days ago, then you're left in a situation we're left in now, where no one's held to account for anything, especially when our owner isn't even looking at profits and losses. He's looking at the stock market value. It paints a rosy picture on that stock market for Arsenal. But when you go into profits and losses, that picture sure gets tainted. And then if you go onto the pitch and the league table, yeah, the true picture is shown. The true reflection of what's happened at this club is for all to see. For all to see. 1,400 live. Come on, people. People are pissed off. Isn't everyone at work? What's going on? 4 p.m. Tuesday, we got people from all over the world tuning in. Captain Wavy, all love from the US. Come on. All the fans hate Kroenke. Even other billionaires like Vince McMahon thinks he should be arrested. Yeah, I remember Vince McMahon's quotes on Stan Kroenke. And as much as I just talked about the importance of fans across the world and not buying merchandise and not feeding the hands that feed Kroenke, which is Sky, BT, and so on, the US fan base will become very important in this battle. I can't stress this enough. The fans here, very important, but as we saw, the match-going fans' importance has been diluted throughout this COVID. It's been diluted to a point where they thought they could do it, in a sense, without us. So we're not as important as we once thought we were here, you know, on the ground, going to games. But the US fans, with Kroenke obviously living over there, slowly but surely, you know, the pressure needs to build in the same manner over there. Obviously, it needs more direction over there because Arsenal don't play and it can't be centered around Arsenal games. But some of Kroenke's other clubs play. And Kroenke also attends some of these other clubs. So there's things that can be done by fans in England and fans in America. But that doesn't mean that fans across the world can't have a part to play in this battle. We all have to play some part. So let's make sure we do that, because that's what we can do, make sure we can. All I can do is make sure I do something. Can I make sure James does something? I can't. And all James can do is make sure he does something. Can James make sure Robbie does something? He can't, and so on. Just look at yourselves. Just look at yourself and ensure that you are doing what you can. Jordan, we've seen fan protests from Marseille, Sporting Lisbon, Barcelona. Even Mustafi and Kolasinac got battered up by Schalke fans after their relegation. Why do we UK fans let situations slide? I don't know. There's something in the UK that, and I found this when I look at France too. In France, if you raise petrol prices or you do some nonsense, you know, they go out on the roads and they riot and they cause an uproar. And sometimes they change around legislation in France and sometimes it doesn't work. But if they put up petrol prices in the UK or if they add tax in the UK, we moan. We don't do nothing. We moan. We moan on WhatsApp, we moan online, but in reality, no one's really fighting the cause because everyone's too interested in themselves to get together, you know? And the way the government's set up in England, I think they like that because they know a unified population would become, you know, a big problem for some of the governments that have been in charge in the last 20 years over here and the way the country's gone. And I know I'm not talking about football in particular, but, you know, if we relate it back to football and say, why do UK fans let situations slide? Because their eyes never really on the ball, you know? Their eyes never really there. Their mind's always elsewhere. It might be with AFTV. It might be with mainstream media. It might be with fans abroad. But in all honesty, we should all be on Stan Kroenke. All of us. But we're still not. We're still not. But we are getting there. We are getting there. Hence the smile. Let's see, all these names, says Red Phoenix. The truth is that anyone with that sort of money is dodgy. One way or another. It's another lesser of two evils type of deal. And as it stands, Kroenke is the bigger evil. Oh, again, Red Phoenix, I won't disagree with that. You know, the rich are the rich for a reason. But again, I'll agree with you that there is a certain rich that you might prefer over, if that makes sense, you know. It doesn't really make sense, but at the same time, it's the world we live in. We have no choice. We have to pick the lesser of two evils, and whether it's Kroenke, an Arab owner, a Uzbekistani owner, or a Turkish owner, or an English owner, we can't really say for sure whether the intentions are true. Look at that. We got the other badge up there as well. Let me move this and center myself with the two badges and make it a real press conference here. Look what's going on around me. The set's just being built around me live. What? There we go. Look at that. Calm.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Look at that. People, I'm taking over from Arteta, mate. I'm taking over from Arteta. Where's Haters TV and Beanie Man Sports and that? Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Kroenke out. New set. We move. Alio says Turkish is key. Wait, sorry. Turkish, the key is going to be consistently applying pressure. Consider focusing your plans around that idea because Kroenke isn't going to sell off 100%. That's why I talk about discipline. A lot of discipline is going to be needed for this. A lot of discipline. In 6 weeks, Arsenal released the new kit for next season. Yesterday, we was at the ground and they were shooting the press release for that new kit. No, don't ask me to have any inside news. I don't. We just saw one of the kids that was going in to do the press release. We don't know nothing about it. I don't care about it. But you shouldn't care about it either. In 6 weeks, when it comes out, don't forget what's happened this week. Don't forget 420, you know, because going over and buying kits in 6 weeks, you might as well not turn up on Friday. You might as well stay at home and have a cup of tea, mate. Watch it all unfold on the news. Because turning up on Friday and then 6-7 weeks later buying the kit won't do much. Fans I've spoken with may be selling shirts with Kroenke out and donating the funds to Arsenal Foundation may get their attention quicker. I'd be wary of donating funds to an Arsenal Foundation because, listen, Kroenke might be in charge of that foundation too. God knows how deep his fingers run through the pies at the club. But selling shirts with Kroenke... Look, I've had a thought about T-shirts and hats and stuff with Kroenke out. Not for profit as well. This ain't about profit. This is just about getting the message out there. And I hope that come this summer, in fact, what I want to do is on the kit launch day, I want to launch Kroenke out T-shirts. And I'll be outside the stadium selling them too. And selling them for what they were made for. £5. If the T-shirt was made for £5, you get it for £5. If it was made for £6, you get it for £6. You know? I think that might be a strategy to go by. But you'll see a lot of people walk past and just go and buy the kit rather than buy the Kroenke out. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And don't get twisted. If I do that idea, I will be open and honest. I'll show people how much the T-shirts were made for or the jumper was made for, so no one thinks they're being hoodwinked, because I don't want to make profit out of this. I just want to see more people with the message. You know, I'd rather see 3,000 people at the Emirates with Kroenke out on their T-shirts rather than Arsenal shirts, if I'm honest with you. So I'm going to try and get it out there as much as I can. And I'm sure a lot of people, that's a good idea. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure a lot of people here, trust me, obviously Twitter might find it a bit different. You know, opportunists, look, it's all about money. It's not about that. It's about the message, yeah? It's about the message. And what I might even do is just create a file that everyone themselves can put on their own T-shirt. Go to your local supplier, local print shop, and just do it. You might just have to make something that as a unified fan base, we all put on a T-shirt, on a hat, on whatever you want to put it on. But again, listen, that scrapbook that I said that I threw away on Monday because of this European Super League, I've pulled it back out the bin. So let me just dust it off, all the crumbs in there, and then we'll continue getting to work. Block the entrance and delay the game at the protest. I'm sure that goes without saying. Jason says, Turkish, what can us overseas fans do other than stop buying kits? I have stopped buying kits since the Sanchez days. Jason, what do you think, James?
This is the hardest question, man. Keep spreading the hashtag, keep talking to people about it, and also I think the big thing is, like, it's so easy to say Kroenke out. Okay, but like, why? Like, what have they done wrong? What is it that you don't like? What do you want the next owner to do? So that if people understand it, then they push the narrative better. Yeah. And one of the things I fell short in for the last kind of till really about a year or two ago, was I didn't really understand what more owners could do to be better. I didn't get it. You learn, you educate yourself, you look at what others are doing well, and then you start applying that criteria.
Yeah.
And someone summed up yesterday on our stream so well, and actually someone who sent in a comment. It's about caring, but what does caring mean? And it's about putting into, I'm not saying Kroenke's not done any of this, but I'm saying it's about putting into the community, investing into the first team squad, communicating with the fans, having ambition, hiring people who have track records of doing a good job, who you believe you can trust to take the club forward.
Yeah.
It's that, and he's failed on pretty much most of those things. So.
Yeah, I wanted to get James' opinion because, like James said, it's very difficult for fans abroad. You know, American fans, you know, there's definitely something more you can do over there because that's his base. English fans have the base of the Emirates and, you know, the stadium. Fans in other countries and other continents don't have that. And merchandise is one thing, but I think James is right. The only other thing you can do is when you're spreading the message, try and articulate it in a way where it's not just Kroenke out or it's not just sell Arsenal. Some people need to be won over. Some people need to be explained why, you know. And sometimes just saying a popular phrase or a hashtag can paint you with the same brush that many others has been painted with. For example, me and AFTV, you know, people don't like me because I've been part of well, I am AFTV now, but people didn't like me because I was a part of AFTV. At the end of the day, I've been painted with the same brush that maybe opinions of others have tarnished. When in reality, that's not the way to be looking at it. You know, everyone should be open to learning. Everyone should be open to having their eyes open, and everyone should be open to a change of opinion. At the end of the day, information and time can change an opinion, and a lot more people need to understand that. Unfollow Arsenal too, and that's not difficult. Like, what does Arsenal Instagram give you? What does Arsenal Twitter give you? It gives you nothing. Don't go on the Arsenal website. They give you nothing. Let's be honest here. There's nothing there that you can't get elsewhere if need be. So unfollow the club on the social media platforms and all of that. Just do something. That's all I can say. Just do something. We can't all do everything, but we can all do something. That's a fact. I haven't got all the answers, people, but as a collective, let's just look at ourselves, and I keep on saying that, and make sure we are doing something. I am doing something. Arsenal socials are all corporate rubbish. Exactly. So what's the point in following it? It's not that difficult to move on from then, is it? Turkish, I've never trusted the process because Kroenke runs it. Yeah, the process started in 2005, 2006. James has a good point. You know, we're just sold.
Because people are divided on Arteta, some players, they do. But that's cool. And those debates, and I said this on our stream, those debates should be had.
Yeah.
But like, for me, it just dilutes the real fight, like the real problem at the club. And I can't genuinely judge Arteta's work, Edu's work, the players' work, when everything above is completely rotten.
Yeah.
And I refrained from saying that too much until I saw their attempt to form a European Super League.
Yeah.
That's when I just thought there's no going back on that.
Yeah. Listen, I can't really add anything more than what James just said there. Hopefully, I think you guys can hear James clearly. You should be able to. No one said that they can't hear you. Okay. Tahir says, all fans are hypocrites. They want owners out, knowing very well the merchandise they buy goes straight to the owners' pockets. This is what is discipline, Tahir. It's discipline. And discipline is difficult. However you look at it, whether you're trying to stop smoking or you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to go gym, or discipline is difficult, but we all need to learn discipline. We all need to be disciplined at some point in our lives for one reason or another. This reason here is about Arsenal. We need to be disciplined, and it's gonna be hard. Listen? I'm a tracksuit guy. I don't need to tell you that. Since I've been on AFTV, I've been wearing tracksuits every single day. I'm a tracksuit guy. Arsenal bring out some nice tracksuits. It's so difficult for me. Well, it was so difficult for me to stop initially. It's not that difficult anymore. But do you think I wouldn't love to just kit myself out in an Arsenal tracksuit with the badge on and, you know, the club I love? It makes my job a bit easier. You know, I do Arsenal content. I wear Arsenal stuff. Easy. But I've had to make a stand. And that's what we all have to do. Difficult or not, we have to make a stand. RJ says mainstream media are now realizing the hashtag Kroenke out protest on Twitter. They haven't seen anything yet. Just wait until Friday. Copters over our heads. A little birdie tells me there might be a plane too, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. So don't quote me on that, but there will be one before the end of the season. I'm sure of it. Gracious Greek says, big up Turkish. Love my bro. Kroenke out. Come on. We need to go after the jugular. Now is the time. The time is now. Time for fans to buy the team. It can be done. It can be done if the government do step in. Listen, the 51% share thing is a solution to potentially stopping this in the future. But at the same time, 51% fan ownership at Arsenal with Kroenke owning the 49% is still a problem.
Yeah.
So as much as that 51% thing, overall seems like a solution to the big issue for all fans, it doesn't solve us Arsenal fans' issue. We'd still have a major issue on our hands. We can hope that, 51%, 49 would force him to sell because he no longer has 100% and he can no longer do what he wishes with the club as he tried to do. But that's all ifs and buts and hoping for the best. Essentially, how often do Arsenal fans hope for the best and then get the best? Very rarely. Very rarely. Where are we? Nearly an hour in. This one's just flown by. I can't even lie. I said to these, I'm doing half an hour, 45 minutes. This is just flown by. Again, Aya says, I definitely see something drastically changing in European football after this Super League. A lot of money will come in, and that changes the nature of teams and football in general. Example, more competitive teams. Do you think Arsenal would survive? Well, essentially, the commercial deals, James, I'm going to lean on you again. Do you think the commercial deals in the UK have helped teams like Leicester, West Ham, Everton become more competitive? Or do you think that's just because the bigger teams have dropped off, allowing them the opportunity?
No, I do think broadcast has helped Leicester, West Ham, the appeal of the Premier League. Everyone wants to play in the Premier League, I mean, no disrespect when I say this, but someone who might be willing or really excited to play for an AC Milan in Italy might have that same interest in just playing in the Premier League. I remember when Sheffield United signed Sander Berge.
Yeah.
Right. No disrespect to Sheffield United, obviously they've gone down now, but I remember thinking, this is like one of the hottest prospects in European football. Why is he join Sheffield United? But that's the appeal of the Premier League and obviously the work that Sheffield United and Chris Wilder were doing. So I do think it's helped. And when people say the Premier League is the best league in the world, I'm not sure I agree in terms of entertainment and let's say competitiveness, but I definitely agree in terms of the quality of player that's sort of spread throughout the league.
Yeah,
so I do think they've benefited from that for sure.
Yeah, I tend to agree as well. I think the fair split of commercial revenue in the Premier League was a good introduction. I have my arguments against FFP, but I do believe splitting the TV rights equally has helped certain teams, and I think that is also fair. Gracious Greek says, if there's a plane, I want to chip in. Please, Gracious Greek, have you got Twitter? If you've got Twitter, message me. If you haven't got Twitter, message me on Insta, and I'll check it after this show. Like I said, it's still a thought in progress. It would be great to do it at the Everton game, but it might need to be saved for another. But I'll keep you updated with the plans and whatnot. Big up Arsenal Lounge as well. Shaheen and Lev. They've talked to me about it, so we'll see. Hopefully we can get something done. Unsub from Arsenal. Our YouTube's another one, Arsenal's YouTube channel. Unsubscribe from that. Easy, These are just easy things to do. The emails you get from them, go to the bottom of the email and unsubscribe from the email, easy. You might think it's nothing, but when tens of thousands are doing it all at once, it's something. You guys know Big Steve from the Big Six. I'm sure most of you guys do. Well, when the news broke on Monday, Big Steve called up Man City and wanted a refund for his League Cup final ticket. And they was asking him all sorts of questions like why, like what's happened. And the lady on the other end of the phone said, like, there's been so many calls about refunds today. And that's Man City. One refund, cool. Two refunds, cool. But when there's tens of thousands and hundreds of refunds, that's when it becomes a problem, So don't think what you can do is small, because if you add it all up, it's not small at all. People are seeing, people are watching. Arsenal pay people to look at the analytics behind Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, guaranteed. If the analytics are showing them a decline, it's not the end of the world for Arsenal, but it's something to take note. If that's declining and shirts merchandise is declining and viewership is declining, you couple them all up, it's massive. That's why I say to everyone, do what you can. Do what you can. Come on, big up Real Ball Talk in the building. My guys, go support them if you haven't already. Gee, respect to you. You've been pushing for Kroenke out from day and faced pushback. Kroenke played his get out of jail card and got exposed Friday. What are you saying? You're there, yeah? Are you there? Jalil there and all that? Let me know, because we might as well, you know what? Me and my people might as well link up beforehand or link up at a certain spot anyway, because like I said, I don't know who's directing or leading this whole thing, but if someone doesn't come out before Friday to say this is what we're doing and how we're doing it, then I think, you know, the groups we come in are going to have to take control of themselves and make sure that what we're doing, you know, plays a part in the bigger picture. But big up you, my guy. Just let me know. And obviously I got you on Insta as well and whatnot. You can just let me know if you're coming and we're going to link up and all that. Go fund me for a plane. Not yet. Let me just think about the message and let me just think about the impact that it can bring. Because potentially the news will all be around protests on Friday. So maybe the plane against Villarreal might be an option. When you look at Villarreal, you have two managers there that essentially have been used and abused by Kroenke, have been hung out to dry by Kroenke, both Emery and Arteta. Who knows? Maybe we keep Friday to protest and we keep a next game for a play, and we continue doing things around different games this season, because there's only a handful left, 2 or 3 in the Europa League and 7 in the league. 6. How many games we got left? 6 in the league.
Yeah, about that.
About 8 games left this season.
6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7 league, 1 or 2 or 3 Europa League. So let's see how it goes. There's still ample opportunity to make sure we get our voices heard and our message across. They got Martin in the building. Can I chip in for flares and a Kroenke dummy? Paul, again, message me and I'll just keep you updated with what's what, and because that Kroenke dummy, listen, if anyone lives in and around London, yeah, Brennan, you might help as well here. If anyone can get me a banner done before Friday, that's 2 days. I'm not sure if there's anyone. Message me on Twitter and Insta. If you can get me a banner done in the next couple of days, message me on Insta and Twitter. And that Kroenke dummy idea, if you can get a dummy the size of a decent sized dummy of Kroenke, that will be burned above the armory on Friday. If you can get me that, that will be burned above the armory on Friday. But there's 2 days to get this done. But that's only our first of many battles to come. So let's not put all our eggs in one basket. This is the long game, you know. Nothing changes after Friday. Believe you me, nothing changes after Friday. But let's make sure we're disciplined enough to build off of it. Come on, you and Jalil there, my guys. Sorry, let me just move up. The chat's moving mad again. Is this? Amir says Kroenke will only leave if he's losing money. So how would winning the Europa League drive Kroenke out? Very true. Very true. Then it comes to that point where, do you want Arsenal to lose? You know, my thing is that profits and losses hasn't affected Kroenke, because we've made losses in the past couple of years and he hasn't even, you know, whispered a hint of selling up or looking past Arsenal. So for me, even winning the Europa League or not winning it, the profit and loss doesn't necessarily matter to him. It was all about the value of the club, you know. And yes, the Europa League, winning it and getting back into Champions League, it gives a little burst to the, you know, overall value, I guess. But at the same time, as an Arsenal fan, you still want to be winning. You still want to win trophies you haven't won before. So I think that it'll be very difficult for me to say I want to go out of the Europa League, even though I understand the sentiment behind it. I really do. But I want to see my team win that cup. I really do. Do I think we will? No, but I want to see it. Might not be in our best interest. But if we do win it, I'll say the same thing I said after the FA Cup. Let's keep our heads screwed on and be disciplined. Let's not run away with it. You know, we haven't won the European Super League. It's the second tier UEFA tournament. So for me, you know, let's just make sure we do what we can this season on one hand and do what we can about Kroenke on the other. You know, let's try and keep the entities apart, because right now there's a lot of pressure on Kroenke and we just need to build off of it. And at the same time, Arsenal are still in a European trophy, European Cup. Sorry, Rob. No, it's all right. Don't worry, man. They want to hear your voice on the stream anyway. It's calm. Don't worry. They might start saying, where's Rob? Bring him in. Robbie's on the phone to Arsenal now, talking about takeover, basically. So he's put a bid. All right, breaking news. Robbie's just bought Arsenal. Robbie, come. Breaking news. Breaking news. Look, Robbie's bought Arsenal. Here he is. Here he is.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be in the Super League next season.
Oh, say that. Robbie out. Friday, 6 p.m. You'll get Robbie out of here.
No, listen. Keep up the good work, Turkish. You know what, right? I'm just so glad that, you know, so many people now are directing this thing in the right place, which is the owner of this football club.
Yeah.
The owner of this. I was just doing an interview on Talk Sport, and I was saying that if you even look at that statement that came out the other day, they apologise. Read the bottom of it. It doesn't say from Stan Kroenke, it says from the board.
Yeah.
He's still not taking any responsibility for what he did. It's time for him to leave.
The Don has spoken. The Don has spoken, and the bid is in, people. So let's see what they say. Let's see what they say. Love, Rob.
I heard he bid 5 billion for it.
5 billion, Rob. Well, you could have add a couple more bills on that, Rob. I want to bring up that statement quickly because when I read it yesterday after we done the stream on AFTV, I saw still recording. I saw something in it, people, that I just want to touch on, because when I read it to myself, our aim is always to make the right decisions for this great football club. Well, along the way, how many bad decisions have been made to protect the future? We was invincibles when they took over the Kroenkes. Did they protect that? Did they protect Wenger's legacy? Did they protect us fans? Now they want to talk about protection. Please, this whole statement, throw it in the bin, people. Friday, 6 p.m. Kroenke out, sell Arsenal. We move. The beginning of the end. Let's hope. Brennan, take care, mate. Ty, you all right?
What's going on, Turkish? I'm fine, how are you, man?
Yeah. Kroenke out, yeah?
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, Ty's Kroenke out. Don't worry about that. Ty's Kroenke out. He'll be there on Friday with me. He'll be there on Friday, burning shirts and Kroenke dummies and all of that. Sophie says, big up Turkish. I saw you on the news. Swear, yeah.
Channel 4.
What news was you on, Turkish?
Channel 4.
Oh, respect to you.
Robbie's doing the Mesut Ozil, feeding in the assists, I'm telling you.
I saw Robbie with Sophie, man. Boy.
Tell Robbie to get Piers Morgan on and to tell him to read my email, please. Instagram message sent. P.S. Socrates just scored.
Piers Morgan is the past. Piers Morgan doesn't exist anymore.
This is live, by the way, Ty. So just before you, no, that's you've said it. What you've said is calm. I just don't want you to say something mad, and then.
You know me. When you know me to say
It's true, but I like to send out a warning. People, we're going to wrap this up because it's been an hour. There's a super chat here from Owen. I think, why is this all blurred out? No, I think as fans, we need to help each other to get all 6 owners out to ensure this doesn't happen again. United, Spurs fan, etc. Help us get the Glazers, Kroenke, etc. out. We need to unite. Listen, I'm not relying on any other fans to do Arsenal's job, because at the end of the day, we haven't been doing our own job as a fan base. So let's just make sure we, as an Arsenal fans, do our job and let them do their own jobs with their clubs, because all of our clubs are involved in this, but I believe Arsenal are in the worst place of the lot. So let's just make sure we focus on our job on hand, be disciplined. It starts Friday. It doesn't end for many weeks, months, and potentially years. Just be ready for that battle, people, because we've won a small battle this week, but we haven't won the war yet. I'll be back, I guess, later tonight, maybe even tomorrow, actually. I'll be back tomorrow. Still 1,700 people live. Make sure you guys hit the like button before you leave, people. And yeah, love and peace, everyone. Let's see what Friday brings. Take